Okay, welcome back. So let's continue the series on blunders in World Chess Championships. Last time we did Schlechter versus Lasker in 1910, which was a pretty high quality match actually. The blunders I picked there were not particularly outstanding in a negative sense. So in the same year, actually, Lasker had played another World Championship match, this time against Janowski. He'd played a couple of matches against Janowski, not for the World Championship in 1909, and this was his chance to actually challenge for the World Championship in 1910. I mean, there is Janowski there with a bit of a hipster moustache. However, we'll go over this match pretty quickly as well. It was a complete mismatch, and if we just have a look at the score here, start there. First player to win 8 games would win. Lasker won 8 games after 11 games. 3 draws. Janowski did not win a game, so that was, I think, still remains the most one-sided World Chess Championship. So we'll quickly go through 3 of the games. Game 1, you can see there, a blunder on Black's 20th move. We have this position. You know, it's fairly balanced. White's got a bit of an edge, has the better pawn structure. Active pieces putting pressure on Black's queen side. What Black did now was pretty shocking. Rook to d6, extra cover for the b6 square. However, that's a pretty terrible blunder. If you want to pause the video, this is a good little technical puzzle. What's wrong with Rook d6? Okay, so if you've looked at it, you can realize that actually the rook is not protecting the bishop, and the reason for that is it's no longer protecting the rook on c8. Lasker understood that, he took the rook, and that now basically it's gone from a slight edge to white to Black has lost a piece. This is the game continuation. Rook takes d5, rook takes d5, and now queen takes d5. And one continuation is if the c-pawn takes d5, then to go through that, wasn't the game continuation, was to add variation, then white will take rook, queen has to drop back, rook takes, king takes f8, and it's a very easy winning endgame because it's only back to that position where bishop is king. White is simply a bishop to the good. So we go back to the game continuation. Black thought that didn't work very well, so played queen takes b4 instead. It doesn't solve anything. White plays rook takes c6. There's no back rank issues for white because the bishop can drop back, and once rooks are exchanged, or rooks and queens are exchanged, you can see that's a fairly easy winning endgame. So basically, this is the first game of the match. Should have been drawn. Probably should have been drawn, and Janowski's just thrown that away almost in one bad move. So that's pretty bad. Now, I'm just going to reconfigure my tier ranking. There's quite a few pictures, and I'm running out of space, so I'm going to work on that a little bit. This would probably be a 3-star blunder anyway, so we'll get back to that on later slides. Later videos. Right, so let's move on to the next game we're going to look at, which is game 5. Okay, looking at the bottom right chart there, you can see a lot was going on in this game. First of all, Lasker blundered, and then Janowski returned the favor quite quickly. We won't look at those. What we're going to look at pretty briefly is the blunder committed by Janowski on his Black's 22nd move. Let's just move this position. You can see this is a crazy position, you know. White has these 2 knights attacking very strongly. Rook all pointed at the black king, so it's not looking good. Black's definitely under the pump already, probably pretty close to being lost. So we won't look at this one too closely. White plays bishop f3. You know, it's hitting the queen away, and it's also putting the bishop on an excellent diagonal as well. So I mean, you can really see that the king's being surrounded. Now there's a few moves which can be played here. Bishop g4 is supposed to be the best, but still, you know, +2 to white. Anyway, so what Black did though is moved queen to e5. Now there's a reason this is a particularly bad move, because if you look at the position, you'll see later on that White will be possibly taking this knight with a knight, and it may actually be a fork on the king. So let's see how that goes. So white plays. This is actually very interesting, very, very wild position. Actually, white plays the expected move. Knight takes a 7 check. King d7, king b8. According to the engine, both lead to a forced mate. So obviously the knight can't move because it's pinned to the king as well, right? So there's a lot going on here. So black played what is technically the best move in this position. He played king c7, and then now white just exchanges on a6 first of all with that knight, and then now takes it with the rook, because obviously the knight and the bishop are both holding the rook. So it's based +5 +6. White is definitely breaking through. And you can imagine that, black's not going on to the d file because there'd be a horrible discovered check. So black just moves back to the b file, and rook check, rook b6 check, king to c8. Now use the queen down the c file, queen c1 check. King is now forced onto the d file. Knight takes e6. Now it's lost anyway, but Janowski took back the knight, and now it's mate, which king e8, and then now this is the cute thing, bishop c6 check, and Janowski resigned because the position of the queen here is brilliant, right? So that after the king moves, he'll be mated by the queen swinging across to the king side. So that was just a very interesting, very, very sort of interesting position. Lots of tactical study in there if you want to look at it more closely from the perspective of a game that was probably struggling a lot already. So let's go to game 11 now, which was the last game of the match. Okay, so the bottom right chart shows what was sort of happening in this game. Fairly balanced. Then Janowski, this is the last game match, Janowski just fell apart. And the biggest blunder was black move 27. So we'll just scroll down to that. Here's the position. See that, well, according to the engine, these last couple of moves, Janowski has already been making mistakes. So white's definitely on top here. Bishop f1, attacking the queen. The queen has to move. Now, the best thing to do here is, I haven't got it coded up, is basically to move the queen in here, add variation, so that when you lose the rook, you at least get the bishop back, right? So, and the game goes on. But that's not what Janowski did. He moved queen to h4, and this, it just loses a piece rather than exchange, right? Game continuation, he takes f5. I mean, the point is that the bishop's holding the queen, bishop's keeping the black queen out of the different squares. So black continued, queen take h2 check, rook g2, queen e5, and then that's not going anywhere because white played bishop d4. Last move of the game and last game of the match, because obviously, it's actually mate because black position is just falling apart. Okay, so that was all fun and games. We saw, 3 fairly straightforward and understandable errors by Janowski in that World Championship match, where he basically sort of seems to sort of stood no chance against Lasker. So move on next time to Lasker against Capablanca. That will be a much more important match. I'm not too sure we'll find so many sort of straightforward blunders in that one. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.